So for today's video, I think it's important for you all to have context to my experiences at this park. I first went to SeaWorld Orlando in December 2018, where I rode 4 of the 5 operating roller coasters at the park. The one that I missed, fortunately, was just the kiddie coaster, which wasn't a big deal at all. But it's notable for this video because I only give parks their own countdown videos if I've ridden 5 or more coasters there. Icebreaker could have also given SeaWorld their own video, but of course, who's to telling when that thing's gonna open? But since I have ridden all 5 operating roller coasters at the park now, I'm able to make a list ranking them up from worst to best. Of course, this is a list on the shorter side, and it's also quite predictable, but I've got to get it out of the way since it's now eligible for its own video. Throughout my 2 visits to the park, I've gotten bunches of rides, particularly on their top 3 coasters, which I cannot wait to talk about because I love them all quite a lot. So with that being said, let's waste no more time and dive right in. These are my top 5 roller coasters at SeaWorld Orlando. Number 5, Super Grover's Boxcar Derby. As I briefly mentioned earlier, this is the smallest and tamest roller coaster in the park. Meant for younger guests, this ride is a zero-force family coaster that honestly does not ride the best. It seems to shuffle quite a lot, which is not the best look for a ride that's supposed to get youngsters into the bigger attractions. I've personally always found it strange that smaller kids coasters tend to be much more rough and uncomfortable than larger ones. Even the larger ones inflict forces on your body and also put stress on the track. This is an observation I've made at many parks, and SeaWorld Orlando is one of them. Number 4, Journey to Atlantis. A very unique ride indeed, Atlantis is the best iteration of the 3 currently operating Journey to Atlantis rides at the SeaWorld parks. If I'm being honest, there's actually quite a few good things to say about this ride. We'll start with the ride experience, being part water ride, part roller coaster, and part dark ride in the beginning. It's a really fun blend that I've actually always really enjoyed. It also has a great soundtrack and some wonderful theming, easily more than the other Atlantises can say they've got. I also love how it gets you wet to the perfect degree, which can be incredibly refreshing under the hot Florida sun. Unfortunately, I did not get to ride this thing during my past visit in 2021 due to breakdowns, but I do remember it being a really fun time in 2018. Number 3, Kraken. The first of 3 large-scale B&M coasters in the park, the top 3 is actually so good that it's enough of a reason in itself to get out to SeaWorld Orlando. But let's stay on topic and talk about this fantastic floorless roller coaster. I find that Kraken features a great first half and a great second half, of which complements each other perfectly. It's such a good package, matter of fact, that I'd rank this as the 3rd best B&M floorless I've ridden, just behind Superman Krypton Coaster at Six Flags Fiesta Texas and Dominator at King's Dominion. It also runs pretty smooth and intense, contrary to what a lot of enthusiasts will say about it. This is a super fun ride that absolutely serves its purpose in the park's coaster collection. Number 2, Manta. I've said for the longest time that B&M flying coasters are my guilty pleasure coasters, and Manta is one of the best examples. Other than Tatsu at Six Flags Magic Mountain, which is my favorite B&M flying coaster currently, I'd give the honor to Manta for being the 2nd best of its genre in North America. Of course, I love the intensity of the pretzel loop, and I seriously enjoy the graceful swooping turns and inversions that you take in a prone position. The second half especially is pretty unique, however, with an awesome water effect and near misses with rockwork, waterfalls, and plant life. That is something that Tatsu cannot claim to fame, even if I do prefer that coaster just slightly. Either way, Manta is a rock-solid ride that has you thinking roller coasters do not get much more fun than this. Number 1, Mako. An extremely obvious choice. I think we can all agree that Mako comes on top in the park's coaster lineup. It is arguably one of the best B&M hypercoasters in the world, and one ride in the front or the back row makes it easy to see why. Speaking of, I find that no matter what row you experience Mako in, you are in for a great time. But the front and the back are both the highlights for sure. If you want stronger airtime rising up on the hills with the addition of crazy fast speeds, then I'd recommend you sit in the front row. If you prefer being pulled over the hills and getting airtime that way, then you should sit in the back. Airtime aside, Mako has a beautiful setting above the water, and it's one of the most picturesque rides you will ever see. The eye-catching purple color scheme is visually appealing to the eye, and it's the perfect complement to the actual ride experience. So although I said earlier that Manta takes the fun factor of a roller coaster to another level, I'd have to argue that Mako ranks even higher in that regard. This is a truly incredible roller coaster, one of the very best in Florida, matter of fact, and it's also a perfect standout attraction for SeaWorld Orlando. So with that short list out of the way, I hope you all enjoyed hearing about the top 5 roller coasters at SeaWorld Orlando. I'd love to hear down in the comments if you agree with my rankings and what you think of the coasters at the park. Also, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, as it's the best way to show your support to the channel. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care.